It's June, Georgia Zone 8A. What better thing to do in Georgia? Baseball. Atlanta Braves, baby. So we're about to take you on a June garden tour as promised. You can go and check out my playlist where we have all the garden tours from the start of the season, and we're gonna take you all the way to the end. But right now, let's get busy in June. We're gonna start this off with our eggplants. Now look how big these babies have gotten since the last time we visited. Now this here is our Black Beauty. And you can see she's just starting to put on some fruit down here. We have a dark opal basil in the back. And this one here is courtesy of Mike's Chaotic Gardening. And this is our fish pepper here. I want you to really get a good look at this. This is the fairy tale eggplant. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at this. She is a prolific producer. I mean, they're just everywhere on here. Now, the beautiful part about that fairy tale eggplant, my daughter makes a delicious eggplant dip with that. It's pretty much like a guacamole dip. And if you have not tasted that, we're gonna hit you with that recipe. We're gonna have baby girl on here doing a little cooking going into this summer. But right now, we're gonna keep it moving around the bed. We got another one of our fairy tale eggplants over here. And you see she's producing just as well as the other one. Got another one of our African marigolds down there. And this is another Black Beauty. And you see what we have going on here? Yeah, they're just starting to come out. And when you catch these things, that's all you want to do with them. And that's that Japanese beetle. Now, we've yet to hit 90 degrees in Georgia Zone 8A. Today it's going to be about an 83, and we've been hovering around that 80 to 83, and it's just not enough heat to make these plants really jump the way they're supposed to. But next week we're supposed to be into the 90s, and of course with that, the Japanese beetle is going to start waking up over here. Now right here we have some more of our nasturtiums, and these are our Love Lies Bleeding Amaranths. They're coming up. And we zigzagging today, so there's no one particular way that we're gonna be doing this. This bed here is starting to come to life now that heat's coming on. And this here are our Armenian cucumbers. We have a lot of male flowers, but no females yet. Once that heat comes in, you'll start to see those female flowers come in. Intertwined into this, you're gonna see our long beans, or our Asian long beans, as some people call them. Going back down to the bed, she's barely 1.5 feet and putting off like that. And even this baby here, she's already putting off banana peppers, not even 1 foot tall. Got another one right here. We're gonna be harvesting these at some point today. But I just wanted to walk you guys through and show you the difference of what the garden's done just in the last 20 or so days since our last garden tour. Look at the variegated leaves on this. This is the fish pepper. Now, she hadn't put on anything yet, and all of these are volunteers. It's going to be fish peppers along with paprikas in this bed, but I definitely know that this is a fish pepper here because of the variegated leaves. And again, that's courtesy of Mike's Chaotic Gardening, and I appreciate you for those seeds there, brother. Like I said, we're kind of just mixing things up today. We're not doing the garden tour in the normal sequence that we would do it. And over here, this bed is what I call wilding. We pretty much have everything going in here. A lot of this stuff was self-seeded. Right here we have some of our straight 8 cucumbers, and you can see we already got cukes on here, so that's going to be a part of our harvest today. Basil right here coming up, and here are our French marigolds. And this is what we use our French marigolds when we're talking about fighting against those nematodes, those root knot nematodes. Rainbow Swiss chard mix in there. Some carrots coming up, as well as our onions up front. So like I said, this bed is just wild, and we're just allowing it to do whatever it wants to do. And of course, you know, we're gonna have our Hashiko onions, always a staple in all of our gardens, adds to our pest protection. And we'll go over here to our brassicas. We finally got our old-timey blue collards to go to seed. Now here is that old-timey blue collard right here, and this is what she looks like. And she's a thick leaf collard, brassica family. And also we have anchored in, of course, our Hashiko onions. Right here we have some of our Georgia collards. They're coming up pretty good. Let's take you over to this bed here. This bed here I'm still working on right now. Still got to do some mulching in it. I moved some of our black pearl seedlings over here that came up wild on the other end over there. So we're gonna have some black pearl peppers coming up here. This is our dark opal basil. Got some more of our banana peppers. Some more banana peppers here. These are some more of the fish peppers. That's another fish pepper. And how do I know they're fish peppers? Because of that variegated leaf. Got some onions coming up down there as well. And these are French marigolds here. And you can tell the difference between the African marigolds. The question that I was getting from a lot of people was, what's the difference between the French marigolds and the African marigolds? They both have the compound alpha-terpinol. The African marigolds are a lot less potent than the French marigolds when it comes to repelling the root knot nematode. Right here we have some of our sweet potato slips, and we've already done our video this year on our sweet potatoes. And we'll take you over here to our black pearls. Now, this is our Vigo garden planter, and we grew our black pearls in this last year and they did extremely well. So I wanted to put them back in there again because it's going to hold that moisture down there. I took that from here. Now you see the difference in the size once I get it into its home. So I'm going to take these and move these all around the garden and let them just grow as they will. Right here we have some more of our Love Lies bleeding amaranth. So we just got to find a home for them. And then we'll take you down here. We have another one of our Vigo garden planters. Another one of our black pearl peppers in here as well. This is our home from where we seed our French marigolds. This here is one of our nasturtiums. And all I did was just cut this off and put it into the soil. So if you want to propagate your nasturtiums, just cut them off, stick them into the soil. It's just that simple. Right here is a perpetual blueberry bush. Now this has the ability to fruit all season long. It's going to give you two main crops, pretty much like my sweetheart, but the perpetua and the sweetheart are the only two that I'm aware of that can give you multiple crops throughout the year. So this is our perpetua. She didn't do as well out in the garden last year, so I'm putting her up under the porch to see if she can benefit a little more from not having that evening sun beating down on her. And I want to thank Carl Smith over on Facebook for introducing me to the perpetua, because I was not aware of that until he brought that to my attention. So much appreciated to you, Carl, my brother. Over here, we're going to have some of our Clemson okra, and we've already been harvesting from her. As that heat comes in, she's just going to take off. You can see all of our small okra coming in, and we're going to harvest those when they get around maybe 4 inches long. And you can see down here we have some ants, right? And that's going to tell you that you have aphids. Not just the aphids, but we'll also start getting our ladybugs, and the ladybugs will come in and clean that up. So right here we have some Shasta daisies, and along with our Shasta daisies, we have some beautiful balloon flowers. Those are gorgeous purple balloon flowers. Over here we have some more of our Clemson okra coming up. Look at that beautiful flower. But you can see here, this is about the size that you want that okra. Maybe a little larger than this, but that is perfect, and you can eat that straight off the plant. But if you want some excellent pollinators, look at what's happening over here. Now my wife bought these to me. I got something that's going to retain that water, so they'll hold some of that moisture into the leaves. But they're doing extremely well out here. So we're going to take you over here. This is our brown turkey fig, and she is lighting it up this year. This is the 3rd year with our brown turkey fig, and she's not holding back this year. And they are everywhere on here. That's what 3 years of growth has done for our brown turkey fig. Right here we have our dwarf butterfly bush. And I have many cuttings of this. I got to figure out where I'm going to put those at. Right here we have a Morpholium chrysanthemum, some burgundy yarrow. And circling back around, we have our black beans. Look at there. They're already coming up. You see our black beans down there? Now right here, I've done no fertilization other than compost. That's that leguminosum bacteria doing its job, taking that 78% of nitrogen in the air, putting it into the nodules on those roots, and we are on autopilot. Our bed here is pretty much identical to the one over here. And this is one of our dryer drums. And we're gonna be showing you the video on how we made those dryer drums. But here's another one of our Love Lies Bleeding amaranths. I wanna have those draping over the top, those beautiful black tassels. And here we have some self-seeded broccoli. Over here we have some white yarrow. And then over here we have some more of our bell peppers. They're coming in extremely well. And down here, anchored in the center here, we have our butterfly pea flower coming up. And we're gonna just let this come up and take over this little trellis here. And we'll have those beautiful purple, bluish butterfly pea flowers all over it. We're gonna have our Asian long beans coming up on this side. And on this side, we have Armenian cucumbers. We want those to pretty much meet in the middle. And this whole trellis is gonna be a hang down. We're gonna come back to the blueberries. This is that fig tree that we were talking about moving this year. And we decided to leave it right here and let her do her thing. And she's once again shining. She's not as tall as the other one, but she definitely has some figs on it. You guys helped me make that decision to keep this plant where it is. Over here, we have our blackberries, and this is off limits to anybody. This is exclusively for the misses. And you can see those blackberries are coming in real strong. You look at our elephant garlic here. You want a natural invite for the pollinators coming into your garden this time of the year. And down here, you can see our peanuts even starting to come up. And you see those yellow flowers coming up on it? This is an example of what I'm telling you guys, how the peanuts grow. That's gonna create pegs. And when that flower falls off, that peg's gonna tap into the soil. And that's where your peanuts are gonna be made at. This is our Georgia candy roaster. And this is, again, courtesy of Mike's Chaotic Gardening. And we got it anchored with our dark opal basil, along with some of our rainbow Swiss chard. She's starting to put on her first fruit. Now, some people call it a sweet potato squash, but it is absolutely magnificent in flavor. That thing's gonna get probably close to 2 feet long. It'll put off anywhere from 5 to 10 different squash, and they store very well. Now, this has been living since last year, and giving 14 to 16 months, she should be able to fruit, but she's not gonna be able to do it in this container. So we're gonna have to get her in the ground this year, and she's gonna live outside from that point on. Here we have our grapevine trellis that we're still working on. So we're gonna come back to this because we're gonna show you a lot more details on what we're doing with our grapevine trellis. And I wanna be able to show you a little more about that. Over here, we have our Mr. Sharpie. And we've been harvesting off of this already. Now, what I like to do with my tomatoes, as I've showed you in previous videos, I always remove my tomatoes when they start to blush. Once they start blushing, that's what we call the breaker stage. Some might say you're gonna lose your freshness, you're gonna lose your taste. That's not true, because everything the tomato has, everything the tomato needs is gonna be inside of the fruit once it starts to blush. Now, this is a beautiful beefsteak sized tomato, and this is the Mr. Sharpie. Now, here's something I've been experimenting with. And I showed you guys some of my citrus going into the end of last year. I've only had my citrus for less than a year. They've been inside in the garage for the past few months, and I'm just not getting to them. So I really have been neglecting them. But the thing that I want to show you is this growing medium. This is a living soil mix, and I'm going to be showing you a detailed video on how I made this living soil mix. You can see all the new growth coming in. Compare the new growth to what was already on the bush. You see how nice and green those leaves are compared to these? And that's pretty much the plant transitioning over into this organic soil mix that I've made. And you can even see the fruit coming in on it. These are Ponderosa lemons. You can see it all down there, even fresh flower right here. You can also see lots of new growth on this side here. Lots of new growth. And that's pretty much the plant transitioning over into this organic mix that I've already created. And we'll take you down here. We have a few of our flowers opened up here, and this is our Miwa kumquat. And you see the bees are working over here. Got flowers all over it. And this is the same thing. She's transitioning over from the synthetic fertilizers that was in the pot that we had when we first brought her home. And now we're getting her to take up some of the organic nutrients that we've mixed in our potting mix. And again, I'm going to be showing you guys how I mix this organic potting mix for citrus. We can grow citrus in a living soil environment without getting root rot. Same thing, we got citrus. This is our brown select Satsuma. And she's just now adjusting to being in the soil, and you can see the new growth coming in on her. You see we have fruit on it. And this is a brown select Satsuma. Right here we have a green gauge. This is a first year bush, and this comes from growingoutthebox.com. And this here is our moringa. We just put this in last week. The moringa is not going to do well until we get into those 55, 60 degree nights. So this is courtesy of Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener, and this is where I got my moringa seeds from. Just in that little bit of time there, she's already grown another 3-4 inches. Now the moringa will get as tall as 50 feet. So I want to see just how well it'll do back here in this corner, and we're just going to let it go up and see what we do with it. This is a yellow Shiro. This is a first year bush, and already the first year she's got to be somewhere around 8 feet tall maybe. Right here is our Italian plum, and most people will call this a prune plum. So if you ever hear anybody talking about a prune tree, that's what they're referring to, the Italian plum. Right here is our dwarf Santa Rosa. We got some fruit on her this year, but she dropped the fruit, so we're looking forward to next year in her 3rd year in the garden, and she'll be able to keep those fruit on. Again, dwarf Santa Rosa. Now the Methley actually produced plums this year, but we had some insect issues with the plums, so I'm gonna have to do a lot more research into how to keep the insects out of the plums, because we had at least 50 plums on here, and all of them just were ate up with insects. So this is something new to me. I'm learning it as I go, and as I go, I'll share that with you. Over here, this is an all-in-one almond tree, and we're gonna be making us some almond milk with this. And this also is available on growingoutthebox.com. The height on this will get anywhere from 10 to 15 feet tall, which is perfect for this little area right here as well. And right here we have our sweet potato slips that we just put in a few days ago, and already they've taken off. These are our Georgia Jets here, and these are our purple Asian sweet potatoes. And you can see here we have pink-eye purple hull peas coming in. And it looks like we have another few more weeks going into our blueberries. Just now coming into the summer. And the bless your heart is just coming in. So it looks like we're gonna have blueberries coming from May, June, and into July. So until the next time, keep growing out the box.